Hello YouTubers out there, this is NHRA 1975. Well, it's been more than a year, just a little bit more than a year, and just giving some updates here. As you can see, the engine compartment is still empty, but there's actually been some progress on that. The crankshaft's been ground, the rods have been prepped. It's getting pretty close to being the short block being assembled, so that's looking up, and I think that's going to come along fairly well. The biggest news from last year is the transmission situation. It has been resolved. I ended up buying a couple cores off someone at TH400, couple of TH400 cores for a pretty good price, and neither of them had cracked bell housing, so that's a good start. And I took one apart, and I took apart the cracked transmission and disassembled them both, and learned a lot about it. I used Brian Swayne's video as well as Oldsmobile 455, and it helped a lot. But I ended up bringing it out to Brian Swayne to put it back together because I kind of felt like it wasn't worth the risk of putting it all together and blowing it up. So I found some money somewhere to do it. But this unit is a big improvement over the other one. It's definitely more drag race oriented. It's a foot brake transmission, meaning it doesn't have a trans brake in it. And hopefully it's also going to help because it has a thicker bell housing up here. So it's actually from an RV. So some TH400s had a thicker bell housing, which hopefully leaves it's less susceptible to cracking. We'll see if that does come through. Within the transmission, there are some new things. First of all, it has a fully manual valve body, an ATI reverse pattern. So now it can shift manually. It'll be forced to shift manually. It also has a intermediate 34 element heavy duty sprag with the proper direct drum. So I don't know if you guys know about the TH400, but they're susceptible to the original rollerized clutch having failures. So with this, it is going to be a lot stronger, but I will shift it from second to third when doing burnouts just to prevent it from being activated. The transmission as well has a huge premium overhaul rebuild kit in it, so it has, you know, red alto clutches. It's also, Brian put new bushings in it, so it has all new seals and everything. He also rollerized the rear planetary gear set to the case back here. That was actually from online. There's a guy called Jake Shoe. He's pretty big in the transmission world out there, and he recommended doing that as well as doing some other, I think, opening up some seals, and I think Brian did that as well. So it's going to be a lot better unit, and hopefully it doesn't crack. I'm kind of wondering if it cracked because the suspension works so well in this thing that it ends up stressing the components, but hopefully it won't happen. Other than that, what's missing here is a torque converter. So I'm going to have to get some money together somehow and buy a torque converter. There's a guy called Freak Show, and he's producing some nice units. They're a 9.5 inch torque converter. The originally, actually, a lot of them came from your 1980 four-wheel drive Cutlasses and whatnot. I think it was called the L440 transmission. So what they do is they take these cores apart and they fix the innards up, and they create higher stall speed. So this should have a stall speed of around 4,000 to 45. I'll have to foot brake it up to 35 or stage it, but you know, hopefully it works. Alright, other than that, on the Monte, I did fix the brake system. The cause of the problem, or the problem, was a faulty master cylinder, so that's been replaced. And along the way, I've also replaced a lot of lines, cleaned things up, got all those lines looking a lot nicer, installed a gauge. So the brake system should be hopefully up to par to holding this sucker up to staging it up to 3,500 RPM. It has a lot more brake pressure now, at least, well, I can see it when I use the brake pedal. So it can get up to, as you can see, almost 900 psi if I really want to push it to get up to 1,000. So it should hopefully be able to stage this thing up to 3,500. So we'll see what happens. So basically that's it really. I mean, the big thing was the transmission, taking two transmissions apart and learning about that, and the brakes as well. I'm going to do another video on the brake system, like a budget brake system for drag racing folk, and I'm just going to show what I did and show which valves are where now and whatnot. So I'll make a video later for everyone out there, but yeah, other than that, just waiting on the engine and hopefully get some extra money going and get a converter. There's an intake for sale if anyone wants one. It's a nice torque or RPM air gap, so might come in handy for someone. But yeah, that's about it really. Alright, well, there has been some progress, and I'm hoping this year to be able to race. So dreams do come true if you work hard and eat your vitamins and say your prayers. Alright, talk to you later.